السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum. Nice to see you again. Welcome to the seminar. Today we will continue on to the Islamic capital market, the other component, which is the Islamic money market. I have been asked to give you a caveat, which is a warning that my seminar presentation is based on the Malaysian this thing, but also once in a while I go to the Dow Jones and the AOFI rules. Okay, but the Islamic capital market in Malaysia is based on the regulations approved, the Sharia regulations approved by the Securities Commission Sharia Advisory Committee, as well as in the case of Islamic banking, the Sharia Advisory Committee of the Bank Negara, or the Central Bank of Malaysia. And this Sharia advisory, the fatwas they give is in the context of Malaysia as well as the global thing, because Malaysia started the thing, and sometime in the initial stages you have to make some this thing using the Maslahah principle. So, and then sometimes they just don't go out of it. When the thing changes, things are better, they just stick to the old thing, and but in some cases they have left the what they call the troublesome instruments from a Sharia point of view. But in the Indian context, AOFI might be a bit more strict, but still, unfortunately, even the capital markets in the Middle East also going towards Malaysian this thing. But AOFI, also because the Sharia advisors in AOFI also, except for Sheikh Taqi Osmani from Pakistan, was very strict. The other guys are a bit more flexible. But whatever it is, we leave it to the Sharia scholars, and it's up to them to make the Sharia rules. And we as laymen cannot dispute their rulings, because sometimes the fiqh can be different in different countries and different regions. For example, if you look at conventional fiqh, Imam Shafi'i, when he went to Egypt, he didn't pray with the in Subuh with the Qunut, the Shafi people, they make Qunut dua after the second rakat, before the after the ruku. But Hanafis don't do that, because there's a difference of opinion in based on different hadiths. So when Imam Shafi'i went to Hanafi areas, he didn't do the thing. So people asking, why you didn't follow your own rule? He said, I respect Imam Abu Hanifa's rule in this matter, because I don't want to disturb the Ummah. So, we can have our fiqh differences, inshallah, hopefully, when we get stronger, if we are united, we will have no problem. But the problem is disunity in Muslim ranks, and, from a political point, everybody should adopt a fifth for as far as I'm concerned. But people have their own egos and all that, but they also have their own problems and issues, so they cannot follow mine. But inshallah, hopefully things will get better. But we have to support what is available, so that inshallah we'll move forward. Okay, let's go. So today we are going to discuss the money market. So let's go to that. So the International Islamic Money Market was established in 1994, and in the same year when the Islamic windows were abolished, and they insisted on complete Islamic subsidy, because windows lead to crossing over of funds between halal and haram, so they want to stop. They wanted to stop it. So here you see, this is a case where you can see that Malaysia started windows so that there's a lot of opportunities for people to do Islamic banking, even under conventional banks. But then they became strict. They stopped the windows and they went on to Islamic subsidiaries, so there's no crossover of funds. So the money market was established because of the liquidity mismatch, of Islamic banks. Before, this money market was a bilateral arrangement between banks. So, and there was only one instrument. And there's an absence of secondary market. That means you cannot buy and sell the instrument. You have to stick until the maturity date. So what is liquidity management? The one which they were trying to solve by using a Islamic money market. So basically, I can say that Islamic banks receive deposit mainly on a short-term basis. For example, if you put money even in a fixed deposit, it's only 1 year, few months, or So, but on the other hand, at 5 years the most, if you, on the other financing side, the bank gives out the financing for housing and property especially, or even auto loans. Now in Malaysia, it's 9 years. Last time it was 3 years. Now it's 3 to 9 years. Because the prices of vehicles have gone up, so people cannot afford the installment. So they extended the loan financing. So the tenure is it can be up to 25. In Malaysia, it's 35 years for housing. So you see that the liability, there's a mismatch between the assets, the financing side, and the liability, the deposit side. Okay. So the banks may face a liquidity crisis if it lands on a long term, which it does, and payments are over a long period of time. Repayments of the long term are pay over so many years, but it has to return the deposits and the return on short term basis. So there's a liquidity mismatch. So to meet this liquidity requirements, sometimes they can securitize their financing, but this has problems because they have to basically selling their financing at a discount is basically it's riba. They call it discounting, but basically it's riba, because by a dime, selling of debts or trading of debts are not allowed under the Sharia. Okay. So the introduction of internet money market was basically based on the conventional one. Okay. So financial institutions, conventional financial institutions cannot issue Islamic papers on their own, nor bid for them in the primary market. So the Islamic papers, the conventional banks cannot bid for it. They cannot buy or sell that in the primary market. Okay. Secondary market they can do, as anybody, even non-Muslims can bank in an Islamic bank. It's no problem. But they on their own, as the part of their business, they can't buy and sell. The primary market they can't do that. So okay. So here the international Islamic money market have three components. One is check clearing system, where the interbank checks are cleared, and then you have interbank deposits. Banks, the Islamic banks, they keep money with other banks because sometimes they have excess liquidity. They put their money in other banks, and when other banks might have a shortage of funds, other banks have liquidity, so they can exchange the deposits, and they do that. Okay. And then we have the third component, Islamic money market instruments, which is they have a secondary market for that, which is issued, and then that one leads to more circulation of the thing and more liquidity in the market. Okay, so this is the so the Islamic money market is here in the Islamic banking system. So we have Islamic banking. It's all under the Central Bank of Malaysia, which is conventional and Islamic bank. So under the non-banking financial institutions, there are Islamic banks and non-banking financial institutions, and they have this money market, Islamic money market. Both the Islamic banks and the non-banking Islamic financial institutions can dig into that, and takaful companies also can make use of the Islamic money market. All right. So it's called interbank Islamic money market. Yeah, not international. Okay. But the conventional bank, they are not allowed to take part in the directly, but in the they are not allowed to take part except in the secondary market. Okay, all right. They cannot subscribe for issue from the Islamic bank or this Islamic institution, but they can participate in the secondary market. So the interbank money market is by far the most important component. Okay. And it's a market mechanism called Mudaraba Interbank Investment Scheme. And this is a scheme by which the Islamic Bank can finance the deficits or invest surplus fund among themselves. Now, last time they used Mudaraba, but they have a low profit rate. So to overcome this, the central bank has set a minimum benchmark rate. It's not forced rate, but a benchmark rate that you have a give a percentage. That means you cannot send a very low profit rate. You have to have. So it's based on the prevailing government investment certificate, which is an Islamic certificate, plus a spread of 0.5%. You can go up or down 0.5%. Okay. So that it will be the minimum profit rate of the Mudaraba. Okay. That's an indicative rate. Okay. So the minimum investment for banks is 50,000. The tenure can be overnight or up to 1 year. Okay, right. So the pricing of the funds is based on two things. One is the profit sharing ratio, because in a Mudaraba you have to have a profit sharing ratio which is negotiated by the bank, but now it's based on the benchmark. And it depends on the gross profit rate before distribution of the receiving banks. Remember, the other bank, the contra bank, has to be an Islamic bank. It cannot be a conventional bank. So they would have a Mudaraba financing by themselves. So they will have a gross profit rate before distributing on. Okay. So this gross profit rate will have to be declared, before distribution of the receiving bank. Okay. On 1 year investment that it will declare. So if it's a 1 year investment, then it will declare only on before distribution, but the profit sharing ratio is agreed already. Okay. So only thing, so the profit sharing ratio is agreed, but the profit rate will depend on the receiving and declared by the receiving bank. Okay. So basically, all right. So, but interbank check clearing, I don't think there's based on Wadia or Amana. So basically, there is no payment for this. Okay, so automatic check clearings. So it is done by the computer system. Basically, it's very fast in Malaysia. Then we have accepted bills. This is the problem. Okay. So bankers acceptance is a bill of exchange where you buy actually a debt, or you get a loan, get a bill of exchange based on, let's say, import export. You have your shipping goods and you issue a bill, so you can pay for the you have to pay for the thing. The bank would pay first, and then they will charge you more, and then they will get from you, maybe 60 days later or 90 days later. And then these bills of exchange is traded. Okay. Now the problem in Malaysia is I have to mention this very badly, because by a dine, the trading of debts is not accepted in the Sharia. Okay, because that will lead to riba. But unfortunately, in Malaysia, we had to, because of the circumstances. So they use the principle of maslaha. Okay, that there is a need, this thing. So it's a sort of emergency where we need to do it to get the market going. But hopefully, in time, we will go to more. This thing. So these Islamic accepted bills, which are the Islamic equivalents to the bill of exchange, they are used in the trading, financing, and imports of real goods. Okay. So Islamic bank appoints a customer as a purchasing agent for the underlying goods. So as the agent, the customer purchases the needed goods from the seller, and and the bank will pay the seller and resell the goods to the customer at a marked up price. So this is murabaha. Okay. The customer is typically allowed a deferred payment of up to 200 days. Since the sale of goods by the bank to the customer on deferred payment constitutes the debt is securitized in the form of bill of exchange drawn on the bank for the full amount. So here there is no buy at the. Okay. That is murabaha basis. So this is no problem. The problem is when the bank decides to sell the bill on a buy at day basis, okay, and in the market, Islamic money market, and then is the problem where the Sharia issues arises. Okay, so here the buy at day, the same thing as discounting, and they use the maslaha as a previous principle. All right, okay. Then there is something called Islamic negotiable instruments of deposits. Okay. And this is something like, this is for the deposit side. You can deposit the money in Islamic negotiable instruments of deposit. Okay, that's not good. So I want to go to the Suq al-Sila. This is actually a commodities market. Okay, it's based on commodity murabaha, used palm oil and plastic resin in Malaysia. last time you can use cocoa, tin, as long as it's not ribawi items like wheat, rice, gold, silver, it cannot be used. But other commodities like oil, you can use. This is cooking oil, palm oil, okay, and plastic resin is used mainly in Malaysia, okay. The commodity murabaha provides high efficient means by which Malaysian financial institution can manage the liquidity risk. It has also become a means by which IFI can provide financing, especially working capital financing. Before this, they can't provide working capital financing because they can't use murabaha or musharaka. Musharaka possibly, but this is too complicated. So murabaha can't be used because it will lead to riba. So now they use commodity murabaha to overcome this problem. Okay. So let me, so they use this CPO as crude palm oil, commodity murabaha CPO. Okay. So Suk Al Sila, they have this and also plastic resin, and they can use this to trade. How do they do that? Let me look at this diagram. Okay. Supposing the base number 1 here. Okay. So international Islamic financial institution, they through the commodity murabaha market, okay, they go to broker A in the market, Suk Al Sila, and they buy commodity on a spot basis. So the commodity, although it's not delivered to the bank, now the commodity is owned by the bank. Now the commodity is sold on a deferred basis to the customer, okay, who needs financing. So the customer will make this deferred, so to pay installment to settle the debt. Customer will immediately sell back the commodity which he doesn't want. He needs money. So he'll sell back the commodity in an instant to the Suk Al Sila. Okay, commodity is sold back. And whatever he get, they deduct the commission and give back the customer. All right. So this guy will have the money and he can use it for whatever purpose he wants. Of course, just be Sharia compliant. All right. And so then it's like, having a fixed deposit in a bank. All right. So the customer can arrange for his financing. Okay. Using the commodity murabaha. Okay. This is the gist of it. Okay. On the other hand, the IFI itself can, when it needs money, it can use the same process. In this case, this is when the customer needs the money. When the IFI needs the money, it goes to another bank and it uses the same murabba principle and use the commodity market so that it becomes Sharia compliant. It's Sharia compliant because this commodity is non-ribawi commodity. You can do murabba on it. Actually, if you want delivery, you can take delivery if you want. Of course, it doesn't want, but you can take delivery if you want. That is a principle which make it halal, okay? And it is specific commodity, not anything. So there's basically a specific tanker of commodity, crude palm oil, which is specified, and you can take delivery if you want, okay? But because it's done in very instantly, therefore the money is the exchange, not the goods. But the goods are actually existing and it is actually sold in the commodity market. I think I have to finish here. I overstep my time, I think. All right. And before I go, this is a Sukuk book. It's a descriptive book based on Sukuk contracts in Islamic capital market. And this is the Malaysian one. So Sharia and legal maxims which are applied. This is a more detailed book by my colleague, my former colleague Ahsan Lassana. He's an Algerian Muslim. And I think probably one of his students, Khalid Aman. Okay. They are still in Malaysia. They're working for Salihin consultant, Islamic finance consultants. Salihin is also my former colleague. Yeah, actually, book just now I'm talking about Suk Al Sila, which is started by the Malaysian government some time back. Before that, actually, what was happening is in commodity murabaha, they were using the London Metals Exchange. And there were a lot of Sharia problems there because they were using the same amount of metal, which is non-ribawi metals, and no specificity, it cannot be, there's no delivery, there's no possibility of delivery and all that. So there's a lot of problem with dealing with the London Metals Exchange. So that's why the Malaysia started its own what you call Souk Al Sila, and because our main commodities are rubber last time, now it is palm oil. So palm oil we can actually identify in tankers, which has already been refined, and then it is sitting in tankers. It's going to be exported or something or delivered to the ports. So between that time, somebody owns it, okay, and then that guy can sell it to the exchange. And then, so if the bank likes, it can take delivery. So this is what makes it Sharia compliant in the sense that it is deliverable if you want it, and it's also specific. That means when you have fixed the commodity and it is sold to you, nobody has possession of it. Unlike the London Metal Exchange, multiple transactions are made on the same amount of metal. So that is haram and it's not deliverable. So this is, all the time we are trying to make it more compliant. And also there's a sequence of transactions which you have to do. You have to appoint the agent, you have to get it has to be sold to the bank, and the bank has possession. Then it can sell to the depositor, and the depositor don't need possession, but he doesn't take delivery, but he takes ownership, and then he can sell it to the broker B, and then so all the Murabaha transaction sequence is carried out. That means you own the property, you can sell the property, and so on. So the sequence must be very clear. If the sequence is not clear, it won't be halal. So this thing is the timing of the sequencing is recorded in the log of the Souk Al Sila. So alhamdulillah, it's quite a good system, inshallah. Hopefully it can go out and diversify to other commodities like cocoa and maybe electronic components and so on. Okay then.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.